with an island girl. I told her only time we tell.
She likes the ice and the ride as well. Will it be forever? Only time will tell.
Fell in love with an island girl.
Yeah.
I told her only time we tell.
She likes the ride and the ice as well. Will it be forever? Only time will tell.
Man, I can't trust myself. I don't even need no help. Did it by myself, I don't need no help. Tryna stack money like books on the shelf.
Hundreds in the bag, got me feeling like the man. Shorty body hustling in the summer on the sand. Way she's working for it, got me feeling like the man. Shorty body hustling in the summer on the sand.
Did it by myself like a selfie. Nobody try to help me. Came to the club with an island girl. I'ma take it to the crib and let me buy you pearls.
Did it by myself, no one help me, yeah. Now these bitches want a selfie. I like big gold chains, I like big gold rings. Let me take it to the crib and let me buy you things.
Fell in love with an island girl. I told her only time will tell.
She likes the ride and the ice as well. Will it be forever? Only time will tell.
Did it by myself like a selfie, yeah. Nobody try to help me, yeah.
She likes the ice and the ride as well. Will it be forever? Only time will tell. Big dog status, two-tone paddock. Stacks in the crib, I got a two-floor attic.
Got a two-floor attic, got your girl in the attic. But I'ma bring her right back, dude, don't panic, I'm savage. And nigga, if it's beef, we can manage.
I know a couple guys who walk around with automatics. I got big dog status, I ain't playing, I ain't average. I'ma leave you hitting static, I'ma leave you hitting static.
Fell in love with an island girl. I told her only time we tell.
She likes the ice and the ride as well. Will it be forever? Only time will tell.
Fell in love with an island girl.
Yeah.
I told her only time we tell.
She likes the ride and the ice as well. Will it be forever? Only time will tell.
Take note.
Tino, babe.
Yo, Tino, he'll get his dome pop. Satin blue on his whip, but he ain't no cop. Don't stop, spray up his motor till it smokes up. Cause what I bought for insurance, I have it wrote off, you joker. Suck on your mum and take note, cause the foreign ring up in his grill. That grandma stovetop, don't flop. Fuck up the game, like this was Roblox. Oh gunner, running this field, I'm for your walk up. Drum roll, load up a cannon and give her more shots. I put your face on the beam, now you're Zordon. Treat you like an old sketchbook, you'll get drawn on. I lead your girl from the back, I'm that raw blood. Wait, who the fuck feels they could do me something? I'll roll up in your ends with a toolie bussin'. 32 ugly as shit, like Miss Rooney's husband. Somebody cut me the deal, I'm just too disgusting. Niggas think they next in line, but they ain't doing nothing. Mask on, metal in hand, Freddy Krueger's coming. Tools all up in your home, I'm here to fix the plumbing. House blown, toaster run, leak gas from your oven. Diol on your girlfriend's face, and she best get to sucking. Head game resemble my dad, cause it was good for nothing. Yeah, I'm still vegan, but I'm down for beef. Niggas think they slick with a dialect, but talk is cheap. Watch your mouth, little nigga, because I roll with heat. Top said there's no returns, and I see no receipt. I put your boy in the back, like he was groceries. Riding round with the burner boy in case I find any extendo. Licking up shots until it overheats. No mask, did it barefaced, just so they know it's me. Eyes closed, chest wide open, heart surgery. Usher said just let it burn, let's make it third degree. Niggas think everything's jokes until you shoot his queen. Shot was funny as shit, it barely missed the beam. Wax on, then wax off to leave the burner clean. Then open up the Uber app to flee the murder scene. Waving a stick will make them levitate. I raise a toast in the air, let's celebrate. See a couple holding a blade, like it's wedding day. And yous can leave with a slash, just like wedding cake. Bitches on snap in the snacks. Oh no you ain't, know your place. Word to flawless, you look like bellyache. Beat my dick all off in the face, and let it detonate. All facts, just ask your mum, she'll demonstrate. Damn right babes, I'm a jerk, just let it marinate. I gave it a beat like I was tenfold. I'm some retarded head, my tongue's mental. Babes, if you die then you die, cause you was meant to. Nigga, all I do is draw, I'm a pencil. Run up on you niggas like the rent's due. Dude, screwed, if I see food, you're on the menu. Your homies have to find the Dragon Balls to resurrect you. Fuck it, you niggas can all hate. I'm better than all of you niggas I don't rate. If your girl's fit, 4+4, she'll get 8. I'm a chiropractor back, just setting them all straight. Scorps, take note.
You ain't sick like Penfold, take no better than Avengers Assemble. Straight up grease, Penfold instrumental. Straight up grease, Penfold instrumental. You ain't sick like Penfold, take no better than Avengers Assemble. Straight up grease, Penfold instrumental. Straight up grease, Penfold instrumental.
Man, I feel like Kane, I'm a guest. Show me respect, I'm over handling text. Headshot, we aim above next. Supposed to give you the ISIS effect, cause when I smell death, Reaper, it's your soul life, I'm to collect. Straight fire like when cold views on decks. I'm about to be next. Bars, equipped with a flow that's totally yes. It's all about steps. Same man, been doing this for time, I ain't vets. Who want to test? Get that hot 16, I'm in our talk, telling my friends, so please come correct. Cause the heat I grip will do more than a man's flesh.
Yeah, I said, man, I feel like hey, no one gets me while you give me that Play-Doh effect. See, man, I'm going up another level, they really want the medals to get best pay your respects. I ain't trying to delay the effect from a shot, that's why niggas are aiming your head. I quit with Alizé from a friend and a bitch, I raised from an 8 to a 10. I'm trying to get away from the ends of performing places I get paid to attend. I tell y'all straight, if I take the piss, commit to the game, cause sure I'll take it again. More money, more paper than them. More money, more paper than them. Don't take no offense, but I see cracks in your armor, so you better start papering them.
You ain't sick like Penfold, take no better than Avengers Assemble. Straight up grease, Penfold instrumental. Straight up grease, Penfold instrumental. You ain't sick like Penfold, take no better than Avengers Assemble. Straight up grease, Penfold instrumental. Straight up grease, Penfold instrumental.
See, man, I'm sick like Penfold.
Yes, people, we are back live. We are back live on the Sarcasm City TV YouTube for an unscheduled edition of the Man Them United podcast, because I've been meaning to touch on this topic and I haven't got round to it, but I will do tonight. And it's going to be a recap of Jim Ratcliffe's interview with the Times Business podcast. It's from October the 9th, where we spoke about Manchester United. He spoke about Ruben Amorim, more importantly, as well. He did speak about a couple other things as well. I watched the whole interview. It's like 24 minutes in total. Actually took notes. You know what I'm saying? No pun intended. Literally got notes. So I wrote down his entire proportion. So we're going to break this down. We literally going to break this down bar for bar, word for word. Don't watch the handwriting because I was rushing through it. But before I get to that, make sure you hit the like button on the video. Whether you're watching this live right now or watching this back after, hit the like button on the video. It's so important you do that. Share this out across all of the socials as well. Yes, it's flawless. At Sarcasm City TV. At Sarcasm City TV. At Yes, it's flawless across all socials, people. So make sure you do both of those things, please, people. Make sure you do both of those. People, my phone on silent as well. But big up to everyone in the chat. I see you. Oh, yeah. And on top of that, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Sarcasm City TV. Make sure you hit the notification bell as well. You got to do all of those things. Pay the tax when you enter the city of Sarcasm, people. So make sure you do so. Like I said, we're going to break down everything and we're going to break down everything Ratcliffe said in the interview on Manchester United. He spoke about more. He spoke about politics. He spoke about Ineos. I mean, not about Ineos. Yeah, well, he spoke about Ineos. He spoke about politics as well, plus other things. So I watched the whole thing just in case he mentioned Manchester United before. It's on the Times podcast. It's on the YouTube channel, people, so you can find it. But big up to everyone in the chat. Big up FN as well. Big up from the streets to the stadium. Also in the building. I said the song hits different at the gym. I can't lie. The first song, people, Jody, featuring J North. Island Girl, that's out on YouTube, that's out on all streaming platforms, so Spotify, etc. That's Jody featuring J North, Island Girl. The second track is a tune with my bro Scorps. You already know, my man's always representing Take Note, and that's just an unreleased freestyle. And then the third one there was Take Note Ain't Sick, so that was Scorps, Tox, and myself on an unreleased freestyle as well. Well, yeah, man, we gonna get into it. But like I said, any questions you lot have, feel free to get in as well. Big up to United Kai, I see you also. So shouts to everyone in the chat, everybody watching. But yeah, man, let's get to this. Because like I said, I wrote literally 10 pieces of paper I had to write all of this on. So this is the last part. So the last two sections, one was both like Manchester United, Amorim in the interview. So the interviewer said to him, how's it going at Manchester United? He chuckled. He said, well, it depends on how much you read the press, really, doesn't it? How well things are going. We try to ignore the press, but if I, again, try to look dispassionately at the progress we've made at Manchester United, I think we've done good. We've made quite a decent amount of good progress. So here the thing is, the fact that he chuckles about it tells you that he knows. And someone's like, you've all been there, like when someone asks you, yo, how's it going with your girl? And you go, gee, you know what that is. Soon as a man chuckles at a question, that means it's not going well. And you know it's not going well. And the fact that he says it depends on how you read the press, really, doesn't it? How much you read the press, how well things are going. We try to ignore the press. Yeah, there's a reason you try and ignore the press. You know why? Because you've been doing horribly. That's why you try and ignore the press. I would try and ignore the press too. Because guess what? If it was going very, very well at Manchester United and we had been successful on the pitch, let's say we had won the Europa League, for example. Let's say we had finished higher up the table. Let's say Amorim was flying at the start of this season. You think man would be talking about ignoring the press? Only wanted to be ignoring the press when it's going bad. That's why man wants to ignore the press. So goes on to say, the rest of it, hold up. We try to ignore the press. But if I again try to look at it dispassionately at the progress we've made, just to clarify people dispassionately, because I had to Google this, it means not influenced by strong emotion and be able to be rational and impartial people. That is the definition of dispassionate according to Google. You can see it right there. Not influenced by strong emotion and so able to be rational and impartial. So he's talking about being rational. He's talking about being the irony of him saying this about trying to look at things. I mean, I try to look at it. I tried to look at it with no emotion and I tried to look at it rationally, but you kept 2 managers in charge, all for emotion, because there was nothing to back up keeping Ten Hag or Ruben Amorim. And this is why I get onto Jim Ratcliffe. This is why I get onto this ownership, because of things like this, where this is the first sentence, people. And already some shit I see and I'm like, this is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous. So he says, try to look at it dispassionately at the progress we've made at Manchester United. I think we've made quite a decent amount of good progress. And what he's talking about in regards to that, I already knew before even listening to the rest of it. He was going to go into the business side of things. So this was the following sentence. So the first thing to say about a football team is there's 2 halves to a football team. There's the business side and there's the sports side. And you have to tackle them separately. And that is true. You do have to tackle the sports side and the business side separately, yes. And they should go hand in hand. So your football needs to be good, but if your business is bad, that will affect the football being good. And if the football's bad, who cares if the business is good? Unless you're just here to make money. Unless it's just a good look to be part owner of Manchester United. And we already know my thoughts on that. And we'll get into it further as I go through the rest of his interview quotes as well. And I agree with you, Streets of the Stadium. I think Ineos have done really well in the transfer market, though. Scouting and recruitment is fantastic. I agree. And as much as I'm critical of him, I do praise them for their recruitment, which makes it even worse what is going on the pitch. Because how have we bought better players and went backwards? How have you improved the team and gone backwards? That's because the manager you have, or managers, because I have to include Ten Hag in there, weren't good enough. Them 2 managers there were clearly not good enough. But you look at it dispassionately. That's what he said, dispassionately. But you had 2 managers in charge who shouldn't have been there for that longer period of time. So, yeah, you do have to tackle it. But like I said, if the football is good, but the business is bad, that will eventually affect the football. That will eventually affect the football on the pitch. And if the football is bad, who cares about the business? It's about Manchester United being successful, right? Okay. All right. Okay, what are you saying, Si? Big up to CFC in the chat as well. So he says the biggest correlation, whether we like it or not, where it's a factor of results in football with an external factor. The more cash you've got, the better the squad you can build. And at the end of the day, it's like the better your Formula 1 car, the quicker you can go. The better your squad, the better your football should be in principle. So what we have done in the first year is spend an awful lot of time trying to put the club on a sustainable, healthy footing. And that's required quite a lot of resource. So you're talking about off the pitch stuff. So here it is. So where was I? So yeah, where was I? Make sure I'm here right. Yeah, football too. I spoke about that. The biggest correlation, whether we like it or not, but it's a factor of results in football with an external factor. So yeah, of course, what I just mentioned there. What is it? Flawless. It's on YouTube. You can run it here, just in case. I don't know what it's like with copyright and stuff like that. So I'd rather not run it. They might try and copyright me or some shit or get it flagged. So I was like, nah, do my own notes. That's why I wrote it down. I don't trust these people because they might call it slander. Feel me? I don't trust them, but it is on YouTube. I hear you. Right. So the biggest correlation, and also the reason why I wanted to write it down is because then I don't have to keep rewinding it. I can just read back. But big upside. The biggest correlation, whether we like it or not, but it's a factor of results. Like I said, in football with external factors, we know that the more cash you've got, the better squad you can build. And at the end of the day, it's like the better your Formula 1 car, the quicker you go, the better your squad, the better your football should be in principle. So what we've done in the first year is spent an awful lot of time trying to put the club on a sustainable, healthy footing, and that's required a lot of resources. And I give them credit for that because I actually think they have done that. I think what they've done off the pitch has done well. And I also think their recruitment's been good. So if I think what you've done off the pitch business-wise has done well, and I think the recruitment's been good, why have we been so awful? Why have we had our worst ever finish? Why were we on course if you kept Amorim to have one of them? We might not have finished 15th, but anywhere from 8th to 15th is our third worst, is our potential, our second joint or second lowest finish. So we want to have potentially, I don't think we would have finished 8th or higher. So we would have had our 2 lowest finishes with you at the helm. All right, cool. Make it make sense though. And he's saying, yeah, put us on a good footing. We need all that. And then the interviewer interrupted after he said, and that requires a lot of resource. The interviewer said it wasn't before. So he said, no. The costs were out of it. Yeah, the costs were too high. And it's a combination of the costs and the management structure and the quality of the management and the people within it and all that. There were some fantastic people at Manchester United, but there was a level of mediocrity as well in there, which had crept in over the years and it had become bloated. And let me get to the next page. And yeah, it had become bloated. So we had to make some difficult calls. I think in order to put the football club back on a good footing, and it is for you to look at our results for this last year now, highest revenues ever, and the profitability of the EBIT. Is that EBIT dollar revenue? I think EBIT dollar revenue, second highest ever. And we are not seeing all the benefits of the restructuring that we've done in this year's results. So I'm going to break it down, people. So I'm going to break that down and give my thoughts on it. So where was I at? Just remember, when he's bringing up, when he's mentioning, about how bad Manchester United are, remember who owns Manchester United. Remember who they did the deal with. So let me just repeat this. He says, this is him talking about how bad it is. No, the costs were out of it. The costs were too high. Combination of the cost, the management structure, the quality of the management and the people with it and all that. There are some people at Manchester United, but there was a level of mediocrity that crept in over years. So he said Manchester United, business-wise, had been mediocre, or some of the people had been mediocre over the years. All right, so remember that when we start talking about the Glazers, yeah, who had overseen all of this. So we made difficult calls, I think, in order to put the football club back on a good footing. I do agree with that. If you look at the results for the last year now, notice how he starts talking about highest revenue ever. Notice he don't start talking about football results. He says, and if you look at our results for this last year now, highest revenues ever. Nothing football related, because we know what our results look like. I know, yeah, the profitability of Dar is, let me make sure, see, did my research for you, look. Dar is, 1 second, bear with me. Here it is. Sai will be able to help out with this, but yeah, EBIT, sorry. So yeah, because it says EBIT Dar. So EBIT is earning before interests and taxes. So that's what he's talking about there. Talking about it. So it says formula EBIT total revenue. EBIT is always lower than the revenue because it represents profit, not top line sales. They basically say Manchester United are being profitable. You would have thought Manchester United are being profitable. Okay. Where was we at? Second highest ever. We're not seeing all the benefits of the restructuring that we've done in this year's results. Yeah, I wonder why you're not seeing the benefits of everything you've done. You know why? Because you got someone at the helm who's an absolute joke. You had someone at the helm managing who was nowhere near good enough. There we go. It's the revenue and financial year record. See, told you Si would know. Big up, Si. Appreciate you. So yeah, no wonder you're not seeing the benefits. The fact that he can sit in the interview and say that, why are we not seeing the benefits? So the business is going well. We've restructured. We're hitting targets. We're getting more revenue than we've ever got before. Financial record, which he mentions later on in here. But we're going backwards on the football pitch. I wonder why. And we've invested well in the squad and bought good players in all the windows we've been in. Who would have thought? He said, so revenues were good because we got a great partnership with Adidas and Snapdragon, and we reached, and that, remember, the second highest EBIT dollar revenue that we just mentioned about, without being in the Champions League. We were not in the Champions League. We did get to the final of the Europa League, obviously, and that was quite remunerative. And remunerative, people, again, I had to Google that, means financially rewarding, lucrative. That's what remunerative. So he's talking there about Manchester United being financially, doing very well financially, despite not being in the Champions League. And despite not being in the Champions League. And him mentioning there, we did get to the final of the Europa League. And this is where the business and the football inside of things don't go hand in hand. Because from a business side, reaching the Europa League final, financially, exceptional business. That's very, very good for the business. But we lost the final to Tottenham Hotspur. Right. Where was we at? He says, but those numbers will get better in the future because the results of the restructuring will come through. So he says, we got those numbers will get better in the funding because the results of the restructuring will come through. So he's talking about the restructuring and how that's going to help. And yes, Manchester United are profitable. I say this all the time. When it comes to United from a financial standpoint, an absolute juggernaut. So where else are we? So he says, he goes on to say, so Manchester United will become the most profitable football club in the world, in my view. Right. Goes on to say, and from that will stem, I hope, a long-term, sustainable, high level of football. Okay, but you kept two managers. Don't people realize that the first 2 seasons that Ineos have had, the manager shouldn't have been in charge at the start of the season, and it's 2 separate managers. I've never seen anything like it ever, where we've gone in the start of the 25-26 season, not general consensus, but plenty of people, including myself, was like, Ruben Amorim shouldn't be in charge. And in the start of the 2024-25 Premier League season, a lot of people, including myself, was like, Ten Hag shouldn't be in charge. And it's 2 separate managers. I've never seen incompetence. I've never seen such shambolic decision-making before, ever. Where are we at? So the interviewer says, one thing I don't understand about Manchester United is that the minority shareholder, 29%, 27%, whatever it is, how come you are the one cracking the whip on almost all the management decisions? Do you have it? Is it part of the shareholders' agreement with the Glazers? Jim says, we have and then he interrupts, and then he goes, the interviewer interrupts and goes, or are they just happy to let you get on with it? And Jim Ratcliffe says, I think broadly, yes. That's probably that's the latter part. Sorry, the latter point sort of sums it up quite well. They get a bad rap in the press. And you know, at the end of the day, I've said it before, they are really nice people and they're really passionate about the club. Even though, you know, read the paper, you would never believe that, but they are really passionate about the club. And we're local and they're the other side of the pond. It's a long way away to try and manage, you know, a football club as big, as complex as Manchester United. And we're here, feet on the ground. So it's sort of naturally just gone in that direction. Bear in mind, people, what he just said before about how Manchester United had become bloated. We weren't financially stable. There was too many mediocre people running things. But then the people who overseen all of this, because the Glazers are the head of all of this. So everything he's just said just before to this interviewer about how bad Manchester United are run. Again, let me make sure I don't. So he said here, wait 1 second. Make sure I get it right. So he said here we go. Where is it? We spent an awful lot of time trying to put the club on a sustainable, healthy footing, and that's required quite a lot of resource. The interviewer said he wasn't before. He said, no. The costs were out of it. Yeah, the costs were too high, and it's a combination of the costs and the management structure and the quality of the management and the people within it and all that. There are some fantastic people at Manchester United, but there was a level of mediocrity as well which had crept in over the years and it become bloated. So there was a level of mediocrity at all levels. It took you a lot of resources to try and fix it and get the club. But you then say, where is it? Where was we at? You then say on top of that, where is it? Yeah. I think broadly, yes, sums it up. Yeah, the Glazers, you then say after that, they're nice people. And they're really passionate about the club. Even though, you know, you read the paper, you would never believe that. You would have thought, well, if you're saying that, they've left the club the club is in a bad state as you take part ownership. Why would the fans and the press be on the case of the Glazers? And you say, yeah, they're nice people. What? Okay. All right. So where are we after this? Read the paper. You would never believe that. Who would have thought? But they're really passionate about the club. So you've just spoken in depth. Well, not in depth, but you've just mentioned how bad everything is, but they're really passionate about the club. So why would they let it get to that point? I wish the interviewer would have asked him that. And he says, we're local. They're the other side of the pond. It's a long way away to try and manage, you know, a football club as big and as complex as Manchester United. And we're here, feet on the ground. So it's sort of naturally just gone in that direction. Then the interviewer interjects and says, so it's not a formal arrangement. He says, well, I mean, there's probably something written in the formal agreement, but I did say when we finally put those legal agreements to bed, you know, because the lawyers were all over them, of course. I hope it's the last time we ever see them. though they was just put in the bottom drawer, and I've never looked at him since, to be honest. So it's not actually, according to him, even a legal agreement. It's just kind of gone that way, where they've left him. According to Ratcliffe, they've left him to do it. Like, it wasn't really agreement. They just happy to be over the other side. And here the thing is, if they was really passionate about the club, wouldn't they be in the country? If you're really passionate about a business, if you're really, really passionate about a business, surely you'd be in Manchester. Clearly. Look at Roman Abramovich at Chelsea. Was he not always at Chelsea? Was he not always in West London? But you'll sit here and say, so they're not here. They've just left you to run it pretty much. And it was in such a shocking state for many years, your words. But they want what's best. And to Oliver, who's asking, wait, what's going on here? We're doing a recap of Jim Ratcliffe's interview. Yeah, just joined, seeing the title. Yes, it's Jim Ratcliffe's interview that he did on the Times Business Podcast, October the 9th. 1 second. I'll pull it up right now so people can reference what I'm actually talking about. Hold up 1 second. Let me see. Is it this one? And make sure you run up the likes, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. I believe, is it this one? There we go. So yeah, here's the interview, people. I'll screen share it right now. Screen share it right now so you don't know what I'm talking about. There it is. It's right there. October the 9th, the Times Business Podcast. So this is what I'm reacting to. So this is why I've written notes. Written notes from the whole Manchester United standpoint of things. So that's why. So the interview's there in the chat. You lot can go check it yourself after this as well. Let me pour myself a water. Not even cold. Let me pour myself a drink instead. But please run up the likes again. Share this out across all the socials. Subscribe to the channel Sarcasm City TV. I will probably do a video on this and upload it as well. Alongside this. Outside of this live stream as well. Just for those that may miss it. I want to hear it. That's all. I've been meaning to do this and I said I was going to do it. And the reason why I did it in particular now, because it's after 2 good results. Don't ever think that I'm just going to let it, never stop talking about Ratcliffe and never stop talking about Ineos. That is what it is. You don't even have to, I'll send them to you, man. Don't worry about it, Dixie. You don't have to steal the notes. I'll send them to you, not a problem. And big up Time to Shine. And he says, RIP to the Leicester owner. He used to go every game and travel from Thailand to most games, if not all exactly. But these people have just left you to run it. And you said yourself, it's hard to run a club as big and as complex as Manchester United from across the pond. So why are they not here? Because they don't really care. But you're saying they're passionate and they're nice people. All right. Okay, Jim. All right. Sure. All right. Cool. All right, where was we at to? Where was we at? Let's see. We're really passionate. So, yeah, he says, yeah, so it's not a formal arrangement. Yeah, I went through this. Well, there's probably something written in the formal agreement. But I did say when we finally put those legal agreements to bed, because the lawyers were all over them, of course. Hope it's the last time we ever see them, though they were just put in the bottom drawer, and I've never looked at them since, to be honest. And that's what he said. Hey up, Steve. What are you saying? So, goes on to say, it's more about, and it should be about relationships. If you have, a joint, it's not really a joint venture, but it's a partnership. And it should be about relationships, not about the legal agreement. And anytime you hear me pause or stutter, because that's what he wrote, I tried to write as much verbatim as to what he said. So he's saying they're good people, they're passionate about the club. He has a good relationship with them. This is what he said. I'm like, all right, okay, Jim. All right, whatever you say. I really need to get a trim as well. This hair has grown ridiculous, too long for me. But we move, right? So the interviewer said, so if they turn around and say, listen, we want to sack Ruben Amorim, what happens then? And he was abrupt with this. He said, it's not going to happen. It absolutely wouldn't happen because it's just a good working relationship. They come to the board meetings, we sit down, we talk about things, we've made errors. There's absolutely no question that we've made errors and we've gone along and we've talked about it, but no one's perfect. I think broadly, so I get to that. So you lot see this. Big up S. Madison as well, because this is the best part about the interview. Because he was abrupt with it. He was abrupt. He was very, very strong on his opinion that it will 110% not happen. Because the interviewer said, I'll say it again. 1 second. So if they were to turn around and say, listen, we want to sack Ruben Amorim, what happens then? He says it's not going to happen. It absolutely wouldn't happen. So he said it twice because it's just a good working relationship. Because of his relationship with the Glazers, it wouldn't happen. They come to board meetings. We sit down. We talk about things, you know. We've made errors. There's absolutely no question that we've made errors. So they already know that they've made errors because in a previous interview, there's a quote. I haven't actually watched it, but I need to, where we spoke about they kept Ten Hag for too long. Then made the exact same mistake with Amorim, which is even worse because Amorim was worse than Ten Hag. Yeah, we've gone along and we've talked about it, but no one's perfect. Yeah, but no one's asking for perfection, but we're just asking for some common sense. We're just asking for some common sense, please. When a manager is clearly failing, just sack him. That's all we're asking for. Application. And your mistake with Ten Hag and your mistake with Ruben are absolutely diabolical. I keep saying this. There's a difference between mistakes and monumental fuck-ups. And you fall in the latter. Too many monumental fuck-ups. Goes on to say, it's not going to happen. It absolutely won't happen. This is why I want him to do an interview, because I want to know what happened. Because you said it's not going to happen. It absolutely wouldn't happen. So what happened? Talk now, Jim. Because this was October the 9th. Oh, yeah, just for clarity, people, at this point. So when he did this, it came out October the 9th. But it says here, even underneath, it says, although United beat Sunderland 2-0 last weekend, they're 10th in the Premier League and were knocked out the Carabao Cup by Grimsby Town 6 weeks ago. So we had just beaten Sunderland, but we were sat 10th in the Premier League. So what happened? That's what I want to know, Jim. Hey, Jim, what happened? Again. So if the interviewer said, I'm going to repeat this again, 2 or 3 times actually. The interviewer said, so if they turn around, they mean the Glazers, and say, listen, we want to sack Ruben Amorim, what happens next? He says it's not going to happen. It absolutely wouldn't happen. So what happened? Do an interview now, Jim. Hey, Ratcliffe, I want to know what happened, what went wrong, because you was adamant it wasn't going to happen. So where we at? So yeah, because it's a good working relationship. They come to board meetings. We sit down. We talk about things. You know, we've made errors. There's absolutely no question that we've made errors. As we've gone along, and no one talked about it, but no one's perfect. Goes on to say, went against his own word, Oliver. But I want to know why. I even mind him going against his own words. I just don't like the wall of silence. Because you did this interview October the 9th. No one told you to, no one forced you to do this interview. No one told you to do this interview. You chose to do this interview. Why? You chose to come and publicly back Amorim. Why? So now when it goes wrong, I want to hear from you. Because if it went right, and Manchester United were flying, and let's say we was in the title race, let's say we was where Villa are, you'd be talking the most, and we had won 5, 6, 7, 8 games in a row. And let's say we were still in the FA Cup, and we were still in the Carabao Cup, you'd be waxing lyrical. And you've been back now. We've seen you at a couple games. So why have you not? We hired a manager. We sacked a manager the 5th of January. Not the 30th of January if you're in the UK. 29th of January for some of you watching this back or maybe listening back. It's been 25 days. And we still not heard nothing from you. Nothing. I don't like that. So he says, I think broadly speaking, we bought 4 good players in the summer. 2 at their peak. 2 young guys, Sesko and Lemens. 2 young guys, but I think they're all good footballers. That I do agree with. I do think you made 4 good signings, which makes it even worse that you kept Amorim. And then that makes it even worse when you look at Amorim not getting the best out of everyone. Wasn't getting the best out of Lemens. Wasn't getting the best out of Mbeumo and Cunha. 2 players at their peak. 2 players at their peak. That people were doubting them. Look at the criticism Cunha was receiving this season in particular. Look at that. People were doubting him in regards to not just if he wasn't good enough for Manchester United. It was more so, is he good enough to play in the Premier League? Can he play at that level? It's just Wolves. And Mbeumo wasn't, even though Mbeumo was scoring goals, you didn't get the best out of Mbeumo. Sesko's the biggest one. Fletcher got more out of Sesko in one game than Amorim did the entire time. That is the best we've ever seen Sesko look, is that game against Burnley, where I believe he had 8 shots on target. I don't even think he had 8 shots on target in his previous 8 games. So anyway, let's see what else he says. Now it's mad to say, well, even like you, but the thing is, the fact they weren't even just you with like the criticism I'm saying, but that stems from who they gave Cunha to, because he's mentioned it, 2 players in their peak and they look terrible. Let's just be honest. It wasn't all on Amorim, but he played a large majority, because look how much better Mbeumo and Cunha look in those 2 games. The best we've seen of Mbeumo and Cunha was Carrick's 2 matches. So Fletcher did more with Sesko in 1 game than Amorim did in 2. Carrick did more with Mbeumo and Cunha in 2 games than Amorim did in the entire time he had them as well. And they're 2 novice managers. How many games has Fletcher managed in the Premier League? He hasn't managed a Premier League match. No, I tell a lie. 1 Premier League match, 1 FA Cup match. Carrick has managed 2 games, and before that, he's managed what? 3-4 games in the Premier League? So combined, it's like 6 Premier League matches between the 2 of them or something like that. Not even double figures. Not even double figures. Now, the only person who catches strays is you, Sai, you prick. Where was we at? So he says, Ruben, obviously, under, I like Ruben. I think he's a good man. So here's what this is exactly what he said. Ruben, obviously, but under, he says, I like Ruben. I think he's a good man, great character, great coach. But I know it's not all about, I know he gets, excuse my French. So this is where he's stuttering people. How I'm reading it is how he said it. Again, Ruben obviously been under I like Ruben. I think he's a good manager, great character, great coach. But I know it's not all about, I know he gets, excuse my French, shit in the press all the time. But if you look at the ecosystem that surrounds the coach, it's not just about the coach. It's about the training facilities, data analysis, medical science, quality of the squad. He's not been there a season yet. You look at the press. I remember it. Tom over there probably remembers it because his boy Tom was there. So Tom was there. He brought in Tom on this nonsense. If I was Tom, I'd be like, I don't know why this guy's saying my name. They're clamoring for, but we'll get to that. Let me just stay on this bit. So even he knows, yeah, Ruben is a good man and a great character. So he's a good man. And he's a great character. Big up as well, King, man. Big up. He's a good man, great character. But you fired and a great coach. But you fired him when he said, I'm not here just to be the head coach. I'm here to be the manager. You fired him because things that he said that he mentioned of his character. And you fired him because, can't say he's not a good man, but he didn't do something good. So he's a great coach, but you fired him because he said he wasn't a head coach. He was a manager. And if he's a great coach, why didn't you keep him? These are the questions we need answering. If he's a good man, a great character, and a great coach, why did you sack him? This is what I want to know, Jim. Why did you sack him? He's a good man, a great character, and a great coach. So why did you sack him? That's what we want to know. Why? Why? Huh? Why? All these things. This was just October the 9th, people. He got sacked January the 5th. You know what I'm saying? January the 5th. Hey, Sai, stop trying to cause issues. S. Madison, my guy, yo. So shut up. That's my peoples. If we argue or not, that's my peoples. What was I saying? What happened? That's what I want to know. What happened? What went wrong? Again, this is why I want him to do an interview. That's where I'm at. All right. That's it. Tell him, let me know. Right, where else was we at? So he mentioned it, yeah. He says, I know he gets it. So he says, I think he's a good man, good character, great coach. But I know it's not all about, I know he gets, excuse my French, shit in the press all the time. Who would have thought a manager that wins 1 game a month, a manager that can't keep clean sheets with a back 5, a manager that has us defensively awful with a back 5, a manager who finished 15th in the league, a manager who lost the European final to Spurs gets shit in the press? Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Like, who would have thought that a Manchester United manager who finished 15th is getting shit in the press? Wow. Crazy. It's like having a channel called Sarcasm City TV and being surprised when people are like, rah. There's sarcasm, being surprised when people say, yo, why is there sarcasm here? Oh, duh. Even better example. It's like going to McDonald's and being surprised when they're serving Big Macs, and nuggets, and fries. Or going to Foot Locker and they're selling trainers. Or you go to Asda supermarket, for those that don't know, and they sell food. Fucking obvious. Obvious. It is. It's ridiculous. Right. Where else we at? And again, run up the likes, hit the subscribe button, people. We're doing a recap of the Times Business podcast interview Ratcliffe did October the 9th. United was at 10th. It was after we had beaten Sunderland 2-0. So, good man. Where is it? I know it's not all about. Wait, we'll just go back from the top. Ruben obviously been under. I like Ruben. I think he's a good man, great character, great coach. But I know it's not all about. I know he gets, excuse my French, shit in the press all the time. But if you look at the ecosystem that surrounds the coach, it's not just about the coach. It's about the training facilities, data analysis, medical science, quality of his squad. He's not been there a season yet. Again, still trying to defend him. So he's not been there a season yet. So that's okay for what's happened so far. Is that all right? Because we're supposed to be patient, but with what? When you're saying, excuse my French, he gets shit on the press all the time. True, there is many things surrounding him, but he's still awful. Right, where are we at? And I don't know why he drafted in Tom. I don't think Tom said anything. Tom was his brethren who was there, so he says. I mean, you look at the press, I remember it. Tom over there probably remembers it. They're clamoring for Sir Alex to be fired in his first 2 years. Half the press would have fired Sir Alex Ferguson in the first 2 years. So I mean, the results are, we're results driven at the end of the day, but we have to be patient and we have to see through the results. When he starts sounding like Amorim is in the live chat, which were here all season long and now they've disappeared. So then people who are all in my chat June, all in my chat, no, scratch that, all in my chat in May, all in my chat in June, all in my chat in July, all in my chat in August, even though they disappeared after Fulham and Grimsby. Then they came back. Then he was here September, October when they went on that great one that was here. Then he was still here November, still here December, and then now I've disappeared. Now it's January. Talking of comparing him to Sir Alex Ferguson. Here's the thing, people. Sir Alex Ferguson is the anomaly. What Sir Alex Ferguson did is not the norm. And on top of that, also why there's multiple reasons why Sir Alex Ferguson, I can't believe I have to explain this. I believe part owner of Manchester United has used that. I cannot believe it. Because that is something people will say in the chat. So there's multiple reasons as to why Sir Alex Ferguson got more time. One, because it was 1986. That's why Sir Alex Ferguson got more time. Let's just call it as it is. It was 1986 when he got the job. Before I was born, before a lot of you lot was in the born. Si's old as shit, so Si was like 20 years old in 86. But all of us, majority of us watching this right now, watching this back live, listening, wasn't alive in 1986. So it's a whole different time. You're talking about time, people, where I don't even think they had colored TVs. I swear TVs was black and white. It was a time before social media. You would have thought time before having smartphones where people would ring your house phones. What are we talking about here? It was 1986, people. What is going on? It's 19. And secondly, just do your footballing research. Look at what Sir Alex Ferguson did before he got to Manchester United. Just look at, what we're going to do? We're going to pull up Sir Alex Ferguson's resume before Manchester United. Since we're doing in-depth research, we might as well do in-depth research. So let's do this. One of the GOATs, without doubt. All right. One of the GOATs. So I'm just literally on Wikipedia right now as we speak, because we're going to go to his honors as manager, not a player. His honors as manager. Right. So here we are. I'm going to screen share this. What the hell's going on? Oh, there we go. We back. Yeah, I'm 45 and you 55, Si. Hold that. Right, as we were saying. So, Sir Alex Ferguson. So this is with St. Mirren, people. St. Mirren. 1976, 1977. So the Scottish First Division is getting promoted up. So that's already a very good achievement, I believe. Let me actually do my I don't know how good St. Mirren were. So let me do my first. I didn't even know he won that with St. Mirren. So let's have a look. Let's see what St. Mirren have actually won in their time. Because I didn't even know he had got promoted with St. Mirren. I had no idea. Right. So he was at St. Mirren for 4 years. Not St. Mirren. So yeah, they've not won a lot. They haven't won a lot whatsoever, St. Mirren. So that's impressive in itself. So back to it. But he won with Aberdeen. Not Celtic or Rangers. For those that don't know, in Scotland, Celtic and Rangers dominate the Scottish League. Celtic and Rangers dominate. And when I say dominate, they win it all year round. It's either Celtic or it's either Rangers that win the Scottish League. That is it. No one else does. And you know what's crazy about him winning the Scottish League? He won it not only in the 79, 80, 83, 84, 84, 85. That record still stands to this day. That's how much Celtic and Rangers are dominant. And let me just double check that because we do our research on these things. We do our research. Right. Scottish Premiership winners. I'm just going to make sure. The Scottish, understand what he did. Right, so I'm just making sure it's correct. So list of Scottish champions. So I'm looking at, so in 86, 85, 86, sorry, 84, 85, Aberdeen won it. So from 85, 86, all the way up until the present day, someone do the math. So from 85, 86, all the way up until now, either Celtic or Rangers have won the Scottish Premier League. Granted, Rangers ended up getting relegated for some off-the-field stuff, and then they came back to the Scottish Premier League. But that's the point I'm making. And even before that, I'm looking now. Dundee United won it in 82, 83. And then you have to go back all the way till Kilmarnock in 1964, 65 to get a different winner of the Scottish League. So from 1965 to 1965 to 66, it was Celtic and Rangers up until Aberdeen won it in 1979, 1980. And you know who the manager was in 1979, 1980? Sir Alex Ferguson. And then he won it in 83, 84. He won it in 84, 85. So on top of that, he also picked up Scottish Cups along there. 81, 82, 82, 83, 83, 84, 85, 86. He also won the Scottish League Cup in 85, 86. He also won the European Cup Winners' Cup, people, with Aberdeen. He won the European Cup Winners' Cup with Aberdeen. Scottish team. European, and for those that don't know what the European Cup Winners' Cup, it was a big trophy. 80s, 90s, it was a massive trophy, the European Cup Winners' Cup. It was a massive trophy. Because if you just go check the winners of it, that's what we're looking at right now, you can see. Barcelona won it 4 times. Granted, Anderlecht won it twice. AC Milan, Chelsea, Atletico Madrid, Arsenal, Fiorentina. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? Juventus, Manchester United, Lazio. I'm just picking out the biggest winners of it. Real Madrid, who they beat in 83. Real Madrid, people. And that weren't no easy Real Madrid. All right, man. So the point is I'm making is, that comparing him to comparing Sir Alex Ferguson, Ruben Amorim to Sir Alex, like it's anywhere near the same. Their resumes are not even close. Look at Sir Alex Ferguson's resume and his CV and what he did in football before he came to Manchester United, and look at Ruben Amorim's. Yes, Ruben Amorim's was impressive, yes. It is nowhere near, it's not even in the same universe. So that's why you can't compare the two. And that's the part owner of Manchester United coming out with this type of thing. So, well, yeah. Half the press would have fired Alex Ferguson in the first 2 years. He says, so the results are, we're results driven at the end of the day, but we have to be patient and we have to see through results. I agree we have to see through results because there is too much results-based analysis. But what is good? The results are bad, the performances are bad. So what is there that's that good? Please, and side point here, flawless 41 years, no one managed to win the title with Aberdeen. Exactly. Fun fact, last manager to beat Real Madrid in the European final. What are we doing? What are we doing? Huh? Ridiculous. Big up Canal as well. I see you in the chat. Shout out to Atro. Big up Red Devil. Shouts to everyone. So what are we talking about? European final, Atro. European final. Not because they don't lose. If I've checked now, Real Madrid don't lose European final. They really don't. I double check it though. Let me have a look now because we'll be able to see. All right, 1 second. So where we at? Continental. Does it just tell you the winners or does it tell you when? I just tells you when they're winners. It don't even tell you when they're runners up, to be honest. But I don't think they have. If you check the Champions League, I don't think they've lost the Champions League final. Don't think they have. Cup Winners' Cup, that's it. Don't think they've lost. I don't even know they've been in the UEFA Cup. That tells you all you need to know about the level it's at. But yeah, as I was saying, where was we at? Yes, you have to look through the results, but the results are bad. So then you look into the performances, and then you're looking not only at team performance, but you're also looking at individual performances. So results are bad. Team performance is bad. Individual performance is bad. What is good? Don't score enough goals. We concede too many. We don't play great football. We're not tough to beat. We did nothing well. We excelled at nothing in regards to as a team. So what? So we're seeing through results. Yeah, be patient. Why are we being patient? Why? This is the questions again that people need to ask him. You said we have to be patient. So why wasn't you patient, Jim? Why was he sacked? That's what I want to know. Your words, Ratcliffe. Your words, Jim. You said at the end of the day, we have to be patient. So you said we're results driven, but at the end of the day, we have to be patient. We have to see through the results. So why weren't you patient with him? Again, these are questions that I need answered. I need asked. Right, where are we at? Next one. So next bit, he says, I think there's lots of good things at Manchester United. We have to be patient. There's that word again. And, we have a long-term plan. It isn't a light switch. And you can't run a club like Manchester United on knee-jerk reactions to some journalist who goes off on one, every week. And then he said, sorry, and then chuckled. So he says, I think there's lots of good things going on at Manchester United. When he says that, you know what he's talking about? As we're seeing from this interview, business. He's talking about Manchester United from a business side and financial and revenue. Yeah, that's fantastic. That's fantastic, Jim. Yeah, that's great. I'm not even being sarcastic here. I fucks with that. I'm with that. Yes. However, what about the football inside of things? The football, which is why you want, because you know what? Doing well on the football pitch and Manchester United be performing well and being successful helps with revenue. Because guess what? If Manchester United go and win the Premier League or go and win the Champions League, that means more people want to watch Manchester United. That means we're wanted even more on TV. That means when you go and do sponsorship deals, you can get even more. It means more people are even invested, which means more revenue overall. Manchester United is successful on the pitch. We're going to see a growth because we are this mammoth. And we have been successful previously as to why we're where we are. And people are dying for Manchester United to be successful again. You don't think you could up ticket prices? I don't think more people will be invested. Like that's with any team. All right. So he says, yeah, we have to be patient. We have a long-term plan. What was the long-term plan? That's what someone needs to ask him. Hey, Jim, what was the long-term plan? And why did you flick the light switch? Because you said it wasn't a light switch, but you flicked it. You flicked the light switch, Jim. You flicked the light switch. Why? Why you did this? You flicked the light switch, Jim. Someone asked Jim why he flicked the light switch. I want to know. He says you can't run a club like Manchester United on knee-jerk reactions, but you sacked the manager on a knee-jerk reaction because there was no plans to sack him. And because Ruben Amorim did that interview or that post-match press conference after the Leeds game, you then sacked him. And because it shows it was a knee-jerk reaction because you had no idea about an interim. So what happened? Why did you make a knee-jerk reaction? Huh? Why was he a knee-jerk reaction? That's again, these are things that people need to know. These are your words. And you can't say, oh, this was 2 years ago, this was 3 years ago, this was 5 years ago, or it's taken out of context. No, you lot can go watch this interview. It's on YouTube. So I want to know what happened. Talk to us, Jim. What happened? Chat to us. Someone needs to ask him and talk. Words, I keep saying this, word to your mouth. Talk now. Because you did this interview October the 9th, 2025. And then by the 5th of January, 2026, Amorim was gone. So what happened? And it gets even better. So he says to some journalist who goes off on one, every week. Sorry, chuckles. Well, journalists, in particular, if they're a Manchester United fan, are going to go off every week because they see Manchester United absolutely performing terribly. So, of course, they're going to go off on every week. What are we talking about here? Why? What do you mean? Well, I mean, of course they are. Why are you surprised by that? Of course they are. Go out to Grimsby. Why? When have we performed well? Look, you know what? Let me pull up Manchester United's fixtures from the start of the season up until Amorim was sacked. And I'm just going to give my thoughts on this and not any no one else's. I ain't going to give general consensus. So we played opening day. We played Arsenal. We lost 1-0. I thought we was terrible. I thought Arsenal were just worse and we still lost the game. Fulham, sorry, we was awful again. Grimsby Town, worst defeat. League 2 Grimsby Town, we went out to. Burnley, we scraped by. We played well for large parts, but still scraped by them. City, one of the worst derby defeats I've ever seen. Chelsea, one of the worst performance I'd seen playing against a team with 10 men until we played Everton. So we broke our own record. I thought we was dreadful. After the red cards, we was dreadful and almost gave them the game. Brentford rolled us over, terrible. Sunderland, I thought we played well. Liverpool, I thought we played well. Brighton at home 4-2, I thought we played well. We were horrible against Nottingham Forest. Horrible. Giving up 2 goals in quick succession. We did that against Brighton as well, actually. Spurs as well. Conceded 2 goals in quick succession, and we all know how horrible Spurs are. Then we had 2 shots on target. Everton away, the worst performance I've seen facing a team with 10 men I've ever seen from a Manchester United side. Dreadful. Palace, we won the game 2-1. We was awful. Take out Xerxes and Mount being smart. Xerxes with the smart finish and Mount taking advantage of Palace's wall breaking. We did nothing in that game. United won versus West Ham won. Absolutely terrible performance again. Awful. Dreadful. Then we went and beat Wolves, who were on course and are still on course to potentially be the worst. This is before they turned the corner. We won 4-1. We was impressive. Bournemouth, awful again. How you play a back five and we can't keep clean sheets. Villa 2-1. We all knew we was going to lose that game. Newcastle, I thought he did his best to sabotage that because we played well with the back forward and he switched it to a back three. United won versus Wolves won at home, awful. Dreadful. Against Wolves, who were awful at that time. 1-1 against Leeds, where we started the game with 8 defensive players out of 10 on the outfield. All right. Okay. No, it's 113 days back, this interview, so it was only 113 days ago. Only 100, because you got October, you got November, you got December, you sacked in January, so it's 3 and a bit months. What happened? Where was I at? So he says, and you lot, run up the likes, make sure you hit the subscribe button. So he says, so some journalist who goes off on one, every week. So the interviewer said, so Amorim gets at least the rest of the season. He said, Jim said, Amorim's a good guy. Yeah, Hamid. The interviewer interrupted and said, that's not the same thing. He's a good guy. He's not the rest of the season. So the interviewer gave him an out. I do that. And you know what? I'm overlooked that I do that on here, that I'll give people an out when they say something crazy. But everyone overlooks that and thinks I'm the devil, that I'm terrible with it. So he says, I would say Ruben, he needs to demonstrate that he's a great coach over 3 years. So the interviewer said, so you give him 3 years. He said, yeah, that's where I would be. Yeah. 3 years, because it's not football. It's not overnight. So you give him 3 years, Jim. So why did you sack him in just over 3 months? What happened? What went wrong, Jim? Someone explain to me what happened. I want to know. Someone needs to get an interview with Jim, do another one of these sit downs, go back to the Times, and I want to hear these questions get posed to him. That's why I want to know what happened. Because the guy gave you an out, and you didn't even back him confidently. He's a good guy. Yeah, he's a good guy. Like I said, like one of your man them say, ringing you and saying, yeah, my girl got a girl for you. And you say, what does she look like? And your virgin says, she got a nice personality. We know all that means because that's not why I asked you. So what happened? That's what we want to know, Jim. What happened? Where we at? That's not the same thing. He's a good guy. It's not the rest of the season. Yeah, no, that's what the interviewer said. It's not the same thing. He's a good guy. It's not the rest of the season. I would say Ruben, he needs to demonstrate that he's a great coach over 3 years. So why didn't you give him 3 years? Why didn't you give him 3 years, Jim? What happened? That's what I want to know. So the interviewer said, so you give him 3 years? He said, yeah, that's where I would be. 3 years, because football is not overnight. What does that even mean? Football's not overnight. What does it mean? So why did you sack him overnight? If football's not overnight, why did you sack him overnight? Because there was no plans to sack him, as we see him with the interim appointment. So what happened? Again, I just got questions. That's all. I just got questions. Interviewer said, and this is where the interviewer, you should have been like Tom. You see the interviewer, you should have moved like Tom and allowed it. He says, no, and as you say, the Alex Ferguson example is exactly that, isn't it? He says, and this gets even better, Jim said, and you look at Arteta at Arsenal, he had a miserable time for the first couple of years. It's not that quick. Once you say, Mikel Arteta has won nothing at Arsenal of note. So why are you using him as an example? Because a proportion of their fan base is still miserable now. They're still miserable now. So why is Super Duper Mick, like as Madison just said in the chat, being used as an example? How about you use a winning manager with a winning team? Why don't you do that? Use a winning manager with a winning team rather than a team and a manager who have been through more phases than Marvel. Been through more phases than Marvel. Been through more phases than a dysfunctional couple. Was just to wait 7 years, and there's no guarantee they win anything major this year. Yeah, he won an FA Cup. All right, cool. Ten Hag won an FA Cup. So I want to know using that. I told you where he's at, and the interview talking about the Sir Alex Ferguson example. People just do your research. Last bit of paper. He says the other thing we haven't even begun to start with is the academy, which is fundamentally important in football. The academy has really slipped at Manchester United. That I agree with. I do. But you need the academy to be producing talent all the time. It helps you financially. You have to have a certain number of British players in your squad, which is true. I hear that. But make sure even on with this, you had a manager that despised the youth. He was attacking youth players verbally that weren't there in interviews. He mentioned Harry Amas. He mentioned Cheeto. That man ain't. What are we doing? What are we talking about here? That man ain't even, what's it called? That man ain't even there. And he's mentioning Amas. So even though you're talking about, the academy and all that, which I'm all for, the academy needs to be better. I hear that. 110%. I hear that. But you are mentioning here. You are mentioning here about how it's fundamentally important in football. Fundamentally important, but had a manager who despised the youth. And you still didn't sack him because of that. But when he mentioned you, now that's a problem. When I say you, I'm talking about the ownership. But you don't do things on knee-jerk reaction, and it's not a light switch. And we need to give him 3 years. All right. Okay. And then the interviewer said, this is to end it. Just going back to the financial model is the idea that eventually Manchester United will be back. Well, no, so we'll break free of that sugar daddy owner thing where the owners are always tipping in more money at the top. He says, oh, yeah, no, it has to be on a sustainable footing. Manchester United, absolutely part of the solution would be the stadium. If we can navigate our way through to building this new stadium that has an enormous impact on Manchester United's revenues, which it will do. He's spot on when he says that. In regards to the importance of the ownership and how much it would help, importance of a new stadium and how much that would help Manchester United. Of course it would. Yes. Without doubt, that I agree with. Yeah. But this goes to show the reason why I did this, and I've been saying I'm going to do this. I'm still going to do a video on this and put it out as well, so it'll be similar to this. You lot got any questions? Feel free to get any questions in as well. Not just on Jim Ratcliffe's interview, anything Manchester United related before I do indeed close out. I'm going to close out very, very shortly. Sums him up in a nutshell. So much nonsense in there. So much stuff that he said that has now gone the complete opposite way in a 3-month period. 3 and some change from October to January. So I want to know why. Because all the things, even when he mentions there right at the end, I didn't even think about it until I started just talking about it now, about the importance of the academy. But you had a manager who despised the academy, didn't use the academy, wanted to get rid of one of the best academy graduates in Kobe Mainoo. Spoke badly about Harry Amas out on loan. Spoke badly about Cheeto when he's not even playing. Didn't use Shea Lacey. The list goes on and on and on and on. Do I think a new stadium will get built? Yeah, probably. Yeah. I think so. I think there's enough because there's revenue. There's so much revenue to be made from it. Let's say United make 100,000 seater stadium. There's so much revenue to be made. Just getting the funding. And I believe someone will put that up. So that's what I think. But I hope you lot enjoyed that as well. I enjoyed that getting off my chest. And that's why I don't pay attention to the ownerships. Why I don't rate Ineos. Yes, they've done good things. Someone mentioned it earlier in the chat about their recruitment. Yes. But there's so many contradictory things. And that's why I need another interview. Go back to the Times now. He's not only has he not done another interview, another podcast, there's not even no sound bites. 25 days ago that man was sacked. Or you was here doing in-depth interviews, waxing lyrical about him. Talking about it's not a light switch, it's not knee-jerk reactions. He's a great guy, he's a great coach. So what happened? What happened? Talk to me. Don't even talk to me, talk to us. Because I want to know. I want to know. I want those questions asked to him because I want to see the response. Talk to us. Talk to us, Jim. What happened? Chat to us, fam. What's going on? What went wrong? What went wrong, Jim? What went wrong? Big up T Gain says 25 days since the fall of Amorim's terror regime. You already know. Facts. Let me see what else you lot have said here in the chat as I was going off on one as well. Yeah, back in Arteta. Look at Arteta. Oh, the Sir Alex Ferguson stuff. That's things people have used in the chat against me. People have said, we gave Sir Alex Ferguson time. Oh, look at what Arteta's done at Arsenal. What has Arteta done at Arsenal? Someone tell me what is so great about what Arteta has done at Arsenal. So we want that at Manchester United. So we want to spend $1 billion and no Premier League or Champions League to show for it. And awful football to show for it as well, for the most part. And attackers not scoring. And set pieces being our main way of attack. And even despite being 4 points clear, we've got this bottle tag. All right, man. Okay. All right. I really need to get a trim as well. Jeez. Really, really do. So what are we talking about here? Huh? What's going on? Big up to Round says the fact that there are fans out there giving Amorim credit for our own current position is insane. Guys are obsessed with being right rather than being support of what is best for the club. Yeah, that's the craziest part, that people will call myself and call others negative, but back a manager over the club. I'm Manchester United FC over everything. And if I see a manager or a player I don't think what's best for Manchester United, I'm going to voice my opinion on that. And then on the flip side, if I feel someone's the best for Manchester United, I'm going to say that. I have no bias towards any player. Like, oh, you really dislike Ruben Amorim? Yes, because of how horrible a manager he was. Because them same people who will say, oh, he laid the foundations, spoke about how bad our club, how bad the players were. We needed a complete overhaul. Let's not forget that. It wasn't just our midfield. It was the team's bad and Manchester United are just rotten. Remember that? Remember, don't let people forget that. That's what the conversation was, that it's a Manchester United FC problem. No one can be successful here, which is absolute stupidity. Remember how people were blaming before the City derby? I remember vividly before the City derby. Oh, yeah, Sir Alex Ferguson being in the stands is affecting the manager and affecting the team. Did that affect him against Manchester City? Why was there no mention of that? Sir Alex Ferguson was in the stand for the Manchester City game. And that's the best 90 performance we put in years. So why did it not affect the manager or the coaching staff or the players negatively against the Manchester City side that is better than us? You know why? Because Carrick just coached. And it's a whole heap of nonsense. That's why, if we're being really real about it. But people won't talk about those things. Because I remember vividly before it, is Sir Alex Ferguson the problem? I remember, I forgot his name, but oh yeah, that's his name, Louis, when he was on the catch-up and he was saying, oh, do you think Sir Alex Ferguson? No, Sir Alex Ferguson's not a problem being in the stands. Sir Alex Ferguson is not why we finished 15th. It's not why we didn't keep a clean sheet away from home. Which isn't why we lost the Europa League final to Spurs. It's because Amorim's horrible. Because with these same players right now, Carrick's got a tune out of him. Fletcher got an improvement out of him. All right. We should talk to the fans on Sunday at the protest. Yeah, go chat. Yeah. Go on your soapbox. Get a megaphone and go chat. Don't think he will be at the game on Sunday. He's too afraid. He might be because he's been around. He's been at a couple games. Yeah, apparently we needed an exodus just so Amorim could be successful. Broco even patting his own boys. He was playing Bruno and Dalot out of position exactly. Played everybody out of position. Bruno in the pivot. Had Dalot at wing back. Mazarari at wing back. Hamad at wing back. What are we doing? It's going idiotic Cunha in the 9, Mount in the 9. Absolute nonsense. Because our midfield does need an overhaul, yes, but I kept saying this, you can utilize what you have. Why does Casemiro, Meno, and Bruno look functional? Why did it look functioning? Why did it just perform general consensus against the two best midfields in the league? We had the better midfields. The Manchester City and Arsenal in those two games, clear as day. But these were midfields that people would say bottom half, worst 5. See worst 5 midfield options in the league. But you can get something out of it, have it functioning. Same way with the defense, people have spoke. Oh, Dalot's a liability. Luke Shaw's a liability. I agree. Both need to be sold. Both are not good enough. However, in those 2 games, both were very, very good. In particular, the Arsenal game. I thought Shaw and Dalot were exceptional in those 2 games. But you know why? Because Carrick had 2 players in front of him who are going to help them out. In Ahmad and in Dogu. And then you have Casemiro and then you have Mano. Ridiculous, yo. It's out bloody rages. It really, really is. Jim must be praying United get top 4. I'm praying Jim does an interview. That's what I need. Do an interview, Jim. That's what I need. Right, what's going on? You've been quiet, Jim. But all right. But yeah, you look. How many likes are we actually on? Let me close down some of these tabs as well. How many likes? How many likes? How many likes? How many likes? How many likes we on? What you lot telling me? Let me check. We're at, geez, you lot have done well. 41 likes. All right, get us up to 50 likes before we close out. 9 more likes and subscribers. 2 more subscribers. I'm asking for 9 more likes, 2 more subscribers. So get us up to 50 likes. Get us up to 16,305 subscribers. Make sure you subscribe to Sarcasm City TV Extra as well, people. Subscribe to Sarcasm City TV Extra. I'll be doing the Tiafimo Lopez, Shakur Stevenson boxing watch along. That'll be on there. Need to get the boxing podcast back up and running as well. Need to shout my guys and get that pattern, to be honest. For me, are really real. But right here, people, subscribe. Sarcasm City TV Extra on YouTube also. Sure, let's see if I didn't miss anything beforehand. I'm with you, Shine. Love my club, but can't stand my owners. That's where I'm at. Love Manchester United, but the ownership I can't stand. And yes, they've done good things. That's why I can be balanced. I'm not ever non-balanced. I never, just because I'm not a fan of somebody or dislike what someone's doing in regards to their job role, not give them their plaudits. And they do well when it comes to recruitment, they're on point. But everything else, they're fucking shocking. This is why I'm so concerned about his managerial side of things. I read on Twitter, it's like Civil War FC. Defending Amorim, fans against Amorim, fans defending Ineos recruitment so far. Ineos recruitment so far has been good. Fans still defending Amorim. Hey, go with him. Same shit I said about Ten Hag. If you're still now defending Ruben Amorim 25 days later, 24 days later, go with him. Wherever he pitches up, you know what? Go with him and take him to the Ten Hag people who back Ten Hag. Ten Hag's currently the technical director at FC20. Go follow FC20. Go follow FC20, man. Go follow them. I'm talking about here. Jason Wilcox, big up King, was doing the same PR on Road to Carrington. He said all of us, we needed to give him time and his idea is flexible and trust his member, but yet, and he and the other members sacked him. Hey, Wilcox, come to the front of the stage. What happened? Because it's been nothing. It's been nothing. The video is so funny seeing Flawless and Preacher roll. Yeah, man, because like I've been meaning to do this. I was like, yeah. So I was like, all right, let's run it tonight. I was like, let's run this tonight. What happened? Because then if Ratcliffe does an interview, I'll recap it again. If he does a new interview, whenever that is, because you're going to get in front of a mic and a camera at some point, I'll do another one. Take my notes. I'll write my notes. And we'll be back here. And I make sure I do a live stream and I do a video of it as well. 100%. I say all of them, man. What changed? I just want to know what happened. Like, when did your mind change? When did you decide, say, hey, I'm going to sack him? Huh? What are we doing out here? Oh, let's just put Vader and TJ in jail for 30 minutes. What happened with Vader and TJ? But shout out to Vader, shout out TJ. Tillemans cooks in the Premier League and he's not more mobile than Casemiro. Udai just sets up his team for success and Amorim was setting us up for failure. Can't believe it took you that long to sack him. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Sire is ridiculous. And you know what Emery's smart enough to do? Hey, Tillemans is technically very, very good. He's not the most mobile. So you know what I'm going to do? Surround him with mobile, athletic players. So I'm going to put Onana next to him. I'm going to put Kamara next to him. I'm going to put McGinn next to him. I'm going to put Rodgers in front of him. Kind of like his common sense. I'm going to have Bogard out there. Let me have runners around him. Common sense. My managers that manage me at Saturday League and Sunday League level knew that. Hey, you know what? Flawless is he's not the most mobile, you know. Carlos ain't the most mobile. All right. So to get the best out of him, I'm going to put someone who's mobile and physical. And that's when I played my best football. When I was alongside somebody who was mobile and super physical. That's how you get the best out. You put someone who's like me out there, probably get ran through. Common sense. Big up Bowen. What are you telling me? And Amorim is still trying to convince me that all Amorim signings, LOL. And that's fine. They can be convinced, but you couldn't even get the best out of them. I've just said it before. I say it again. Darren Fletcher got more out of Sesko in one game than Amorim did in the entire time he was managing him. Carrick got more out of him, Bremo and Cunha in 2 games than Amorim did in the entire time. And he was managing them. And they're 2 novice managers. They're novice. How many games is Michael Carrick managed in the Premier League in total? Let me check this. Fletcher's managed 1. Yeah. Matches. Carrick. Let me see. So he's managed 7 Premier League matches. 7 he's managed. And Fletcher's managed 1. So 8. 8. And they, so combined managers, 2 managers who have combined 8 Premier League matches got more out of these players than you did. Embarrassing, yo. Embarrassing. Absolutely. When Drim drops the interview, bust out the whiteboard again. Yeah, I will do. I will do. I got you. Only reason why I didn't have the whiteboard today is because I needed more, but the next one I'll probably just use bullet points and have the whiteboard. That's it. That's what I'll probably do. And he also been top class in the market. Credit is, I give them credit for it. But they suck at everything else. That's the problem. Everything else stinks. Transfers, yes. The business side of things in regards to cutting costs and everything, I agree with. Everything else is awful. And their decision making is at the top of that when it comes to the managerial side of things. That's why I don't give, even though I give them credit, I go, that makes it look even worse. That your signings have been good and we've gone backwards. Flawless, if you want, I can do PPT. What's PPT? Not much, my guy. Keep United linked with Bowen. Stay away. Nah, we won't go in for Bowen. We got too many players who will play. We play on the right-hand side. Unless we were signing him as a 10. You know what? Won't be the worst idea, to be honest. We signing Bowen to play in the 10. I'm not against that. All right, Bowen. That makes sense. If Bruno does leave and you go get Bowen, how old is he? I didn't even know we'd been linked to him. I had no idea we'd been linked to him. How old's Bowen? He's 29. Yeah, probably not. We ain't going to get Bowen. No, 29. We're not going to get Bowen. I rate Bowen, but nah. He's got 7 goals this season. Is he your penalty taker, though? That's still impressive. His record impressive. 13 last season, 16 before, 6, 12, 8. He knows where the goal is. He knows where the goal is. Yeah, he's too old. Yeah, I just read that. Yeah. I thought he was younger than that. So is he your penalty taker, though, Bowen? Is Bowen your penalty taker? Yeah, what's PPT? You don't have to hit me up. What's PPT? I'm doing. That's for quite okay. Just asking our interest. That's impressive. That's good numbers, man. That's good numbers. But nah, the age. Now if he was 24 or 25, I see it. Oh, that's a PowerPoint presentation. You're a joke, man. I ain't done one of them since I was like in school. That's a PowerPoint presentation. All right. Where we at? But you lot can take. Have we hit 50 likes? We hit 50 likes. About 45 girls up to 50 likes. Subscribe as well. We're looking for 2 more subscribers. So we're still 5 subscribers short and 2 subscribers short and 5 likes short. Yes, Stippo, I'm gonna run some pro clubs for a little bit because NBA don't start till I think it's 2:30. Let me double check that. So yeah, I'm gonna redirect. I'm gonna set up the stream in a second. I'm gonna run some pro clubs. Yeah, I'm gonna do Timberwolves Thunder. So yeah. All right, but I think that's it. I think we've covered everything. Let me set up this stream. I can send you lot over there to the gaming channel. Make sure you subscribe to Sarcasm City TV Extra. Make sure you do so, people. Please make sure you do that. Oklahoma City Thunder versus Minnesota Timberwolves NBA watch along tonight. That'll be 2:30 a.m. That's on the extra channel. We're gonna redirect you lot to the gaming channel though. So I'm literally just setting up the stream right now as we speak. But I hope you lot have enjoyed the stream as well. Hope you have. All right, 1 second. Setting up this Pro Club stream right now. Where we at? Boom. So yeah, hopefully I see you. New gen PS5. It's new gen. So I just more loan settings. That's what man's on. Unless if there's a few of you lot, we can run up a team right now. There's a few of you lot. Let me know. If any of you lot can play, if there's 3 or 4 of you lot in the chat, we can run something up now. If not, I just go out alone. That's what I've been doing. What is this? Yeah. Literally just setting up the stream right now as we speak. Is this even the right thing? No, this is the wrong one. Wrong channel. I do that all the time. Get confused while I'm on. But yeah, like I said, I hope you lot have enjoyed this stream much as I have. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I ain't gonna lie. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. Here's Ratcliffe, all these contradictions. We need this next interview, man. We need this freaking next interview. What's going on? That's what it is. What's happening? What's going on? Boom. Flawless, no solo Q&A tomorrow. That's why, because I was going to do the solo Q&A in this time slot, but I was like, let me run this now. I didn't know how long this was going to go for. And I run the solo Q&A tomorrow after back again. So like 3:30 p.m. That's what it is. Yeah, it has been. Yeah. Bowen, shout me. Of course, always looking for players. I need to get back. I need to buy GTA as well. 5 for the new console. I only got it on old gen. But yeah, if you like enjoyed this, I'll do more of these in regards to reaction. Just a lot of the time, there ain't nothing to react to. That's the problem. Whereas Ratcliffe, like, this is something I genuinely want to react to. Most interviews I don't really care for. When it's the owner just like waffling. I remember when that came out, oh, we're gonna back him. All right, man. We'll see. One of those gonna come back to bite you. You're gonna look awful. You're gonna look fucking awful. All right, what is this? Right, but make sure you look before you leave here. Run up the likes, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell as well. As soon as you get over to the gaming channel, even if you're not a fan of gaming, people, even if you're not a fan of gaming, hit the like button, subscribe, and then just close it off because it all helps the algorithm. Make sure you subscribe to Sarcasm City TV Extra because that's where you get more content just like this, people. So that you get fan calling shows over there, Premier League watch-alongs, Champions League watch-alongs, La Liga watch-alongs, NBA watch-alongs, boxing watch-alongs. I need to get the boxing show up and running to put that back over there on the extra channel as well. Same with Courtside Commentary, the NBA podcast. Need to get that on there also, people. So yeah, GTA Online. Yeah, definitely GTA Online, 100%. Definitely GTA Online. It's just time inside. That's why I don't post up a lot of clips on Instagram. It's just timing, having the time to do all these things. That's where the issues and problems lie. But hey, I appreciate all of you lot, man. From the streets to the stadium, Atro. I've never played Red Dead Redemption, but GTA Online, yes. I just need to cop it for the PS. That's what I need to do. Who else is in there? Time to Shine. Bowen, I see you as well. Sayo, big up. I hope to see all of you lot on the gaming channel as well. Stippo, we mentioned it. Because I still answer questions while I'm playing. Also, I still answer questions. But right, people, we are going to close out. This has been the Man Them United podcast, special edition of the Man Them United podcast live on the Sarcasm City TV YouTube. Thank you very much for tuning in. See you lot in about 2 minutes. Yeah, about a couple minutes. There you go.